What's going on, folks? Live once again, another edition of Boxing Chick. Josh here, along with Boz, holding it down. How you been doing, Boz?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, still have some pollen, going on, but it's going all right. I mean, all in all, yeah, very
Yeah,
sunny. The last like 20 days we had such summery weather. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. I
amazing.
understand. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's hot here. I was doing this boxing event yesterday, or at least helping with the setup. I ended up not going back to the actual event, but yeah, it was pretty hot out there. Made me take a nap, and by the time I woke up, time was gone. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. But glad all
Yeah,
things are good.
it is what it is.
All right, Mr. Pads is in the house. Thank you, Mr. Pads. Appreciate you dropping by, buddy. He says, "Big up, Josh and Boz. Saw that lots of people thought Derevianchenko should have gotten a nod. Was kind of close, in my opinion. Good stuff, Mr.
Hmm.
Pads. We were just chatting about that because the two of us, neither of us saw it, and that's one of those things. A lot of boxing on yesterday, but that is one I need to go and check out because I also heard that it was in that sort of fight of the year territory or somewhere something close to that, around that type of level of fight, which I find to be interesting because coming into it, I know personally I thought that Hami Munguia would handle Derevianchenko not easy, but do a great job given his size, his youth, and he's a pretty strong fighter. And this being at 168 pounds, where I figured Munguia would be even more comfortable, I thought he would handle Derevianchenko pretty well, but it looks like that
Yeah.
was not the case with it being, as Boz had mentioned to me, a majority decision.
Yeah. I thought that maybe it's because this was Derevyanchenko's probably last big fight. So I think he said something about retiring before the fight or something, maybe. But so I think he just wanted to look good and give it all, I guess, one last time and try to win. So
Okay.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, he's never really been beaten down to size, actually. If you look at it, as they say, he's had given all his opponents a good fight. Those he lost, I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah, tough schedule. He's definitely tough. Sub 20
yeah.
fights, and he's fought a lot of top competition without a doubt. Shout out to Rodolfo Rivera Jr. It says Bonds in 86. Salute to you, Rodolfo. Appreciate having you in,
Hey.
buddy. As always, we love having you in the mix. Rodolfo Rivera Jr. says Munguia dropped Sergey but couldn't finish it.
Mm,
Interesting. Okay, so he dropped him. Yeah, this was one I'm definitely going to try and check out here today because I want to see how that action was and how Munguia handled 168, but I know that Derevianchenko, he is a somewhat strong fighter, not a huge puncher in that sense. At least that hadn't been the case when he was in at the elite level. But
yeah,
that
he's
being
not.
said, yeah, I wonder if he was able to do anything to really trouble or hurt Munguia.
Yeah, I will really want to see that fight. Hope I get to see it somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was the first fight at 168 for Munguia, and I don't. We'll see how it will go. But yeah, I mean, so far this is not really a really impressive beginning for him at this weight. But still, as I said, Remenchenko is a tough guy. He's not a nobody, far from that. He is a quality fighter, so I expected him to give a good test to Munguia, and yeah, that's what he did, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, that's good stuff. Like he needed it essentially because we are looking for Munguia to be tested. Looks like that was the case. So hopefully we can
Yeah,
actually get to that or we can get Munguia in one of these other top level fights here at some point because 168 they've started to refresh a bit. So there's competition there without a doubt. So we'll see. Excuse me,
yeah,
where he goes from here without a doubt. Mr. Pad says also, what did you make of Sonny's performance? So lots of people say they won't pay for a Sonny fight again. And I hope it make him
yeah,
versus Bam next. That would be cool. I know I want to see Sonny versus Bam. I think that's a very good fight, and I like Bam in
yeah.
that fight. But that being said, I didn't catch this one. I know Boz did. What did you think of the fight? I heard that Sonny
Yeah.
was playing around or doing some type of stuff like that.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did win definitely, but it was a close fight, closer than I expected it to be because Campos was an unknown, but he's obviously a good fighter. I mean, he was undefeated for a reason, after
Mm-hmm.
all. And the thing is, yeah, he opened well, Campos. I think kind of maybe Sonny took a little bit too many breaks, simple as that.
Okay.
He didn't go all out, and he got caught a few times, good, but he managed to bounce back and he landed many punches on. Also caught Campos good a few times. So it was a good fight, all in all. Definitely a good fight. Good, how do you say it? Yeah, a brawl. Yeah,
All right. Now, what do
Mm.
you think? So that's good. I need to watch that one as well, and I'm going to get to it for sure because I want to see how Sonny looked. And maybe this wasn't his best performance, but we know that he's a very good
No,
boxer and all. But that being
not
said,
his best. No, definitely. I would say he wasn't impressive, but he did what he had to do to win. Definitely, he did enough to win, and that's
yeah,
how it is. I mean, he still has that. He's a great counter puncher. He can avoid punches very well. The way he moves, the way he slips, and and avoids punches, or however you say, evades. Yeah, he's a very evasive fighter. Or evasive, however you call it.
cool. Yeah, what do you make of Bam and Sonny Edwards? As a matter of fact, I was going to look at the size because Sonny, he looked a bit bigger than Campo, so I wanted to see how he'll
Yeah,
compare size wise to Bam.
yeah, he seemed very eager after the fight. He screamed like, "Let's make that contract."
Oh
He
yeah, I saw
said,
that. I did see
"Yeah, sign it,
that.
sign it." Yeah, I think I think he will probably, if he fights the best he can probably win that fight because with his movement and the skills and counter punching, all that, he can definitely make it really hard for Bam Bam, who is obviously a come forward, pressure fighter more than a typical boxer, I guess.
Hmm.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
that'll be interesting. I was just looking at their measurables. It looks like Bam has an inch on him and 7 inches in reach, if that is correct on
mm,
BoxRec, which I think would play
yeah.
to the overall fight in some capacity. You know what I'm saying?
But Sonny will just have to, keep coming. He can't take breaks there like he did last night, and he
Yeah.
will have to impress the judges and make them give, how hard it can be, and that's gonna be a competitive fight. Of course, it's not gonna be. I don't see Sonny really kind of schooling Bam Bam, but he can win, enough rounds and outbox him enough to win. Definitely he can. But will he? That's a 50-50, I think, fight, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it then for sure because Bam has shown at times that man he has that elite level pedigree, and I think a fight like this could help to take him over the top,
Yeah.
especially depending on where it's held, of course, which will bring in a lot of fanfare. And Bam has showed that he's a guy who's not afraid to exchange, so I think
Hmm.
he could force Sonny to fire back, and I think it'll probably be a fairly exciting fight just
Yeah.
given the build up and all. So hopefully we do get that at some point. If not this year, later this year, then early next year. You know.
Yeah. And I don't know if actually, I don't think Sonny has fought many real punchers, and there aren't really many maybe at flyweight either. So I don't know how hard Bam Bam hits, but he obviously can. Has some power. So
Well,
that will be.
if you have no defense like freaking Sorungvi side, he'll light you up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But it will be
so he
hard. But
lit him
still,
up.
yeah, it will be interesting to see how well Sonny can take those punches and land. He's
Yeah,
a tough. Yeah,
yeah, definitely interesting stuff for sure. Shout out Skywalker Boxing, TWT, the winning team. He says salute 86 TV and Boz chat. Salute to you, Skywalker Boxing.
salute.
Hey, everyone, check out Skywalker Boxing, holding it down, a fellow veteran. Man, over there on his channel, you just look him up, Skywalker Boxing. You'll see he's doing his thing over there, and he is one of the most entertaining on YouTube, providing a ton of fight coverage that we can check out at varying times. So be sure to check out Skywalker Boxing. It's been cool to see him grow here over the course of pretty much a year, that or somewhere around there that I've been able to interact with him. So salute to you, bro. And
Yeah.
also salute to
Nice.
Martin Dunstan, who says, "Hi, gentlemen in the chat." Martin, appreciate you dropping in, buddy. Good to have you here as always. As I mentioned, love the dialogue. Martin's always a regular coming around, dropping some comments. So appreciate you dropping by, Martin. We were just talking Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards and the potential of that happening. But that being said, we were also looking at just the performance of Sonny Edwards yesterday against Campos, and of course he was able to pull off the victory. But as
Yeah.
Biles was mentioning, there were a number of breaks, and I guess some
Mm.
people didn't like the way he went about it. But that being said, I'm sure we'll see him in there again. Hopefully, it's Sonny Edwards versus Bam Rodriguez next, because I think that is going to be a very good one. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
we're on the lookout.
he's definitely one of the biggest British stars in boxing right now. And one of very few in those divisions was also in flyweight and super flyweight and all that. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, Bam Rodriguez is at super flyweight, right? I think he.
Well, he was there, and I believe he actually went down. He dropped to
Right.
one
Yeah.
four, maybe 112. Did he drop to 112? I need to double. I'm gonna double check, but I know he was at super flyweight and dropped down. But I think that was because he
Right.
was saying that he could make any weight really. He could get down to 112. I don't know if he could get below there or whatever. But yeah, so he dropped down to flyweight, but he was at Superfly, I feel like, at one point.
Yeah, because I know Sorungisai was a super flyweight.
Yeah,
So.
that's where he beat. That is correct. So yeah, he was there. That's where he beat Sarung Visai at. I don't
Mm.
know how many fights he had there at super flyweight, but that being said, of course, that Sarung Visai win was one of the best you could get, especially at this stage of his career. And so yeah, he's down there in the flyweight ranks, and I'm looking at the rankings. So they have the ring rankings, rather. They don't have a ring champion. That being said, the other belts are held by Bam. Then you have this Arden Dalkian, Dalakian. I mean, yeah, I've seen him.
But yeah,
Dalakian.
Dalakian,
I
yeah,
have
Artem,
seen him actually. I know him.
yeah.
And then Julio Cesar Martinez, who I think would make for an exciting fight with any one of those fighters.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
they
see
were
him beating any
talking.
of them, but
Yeah,
it would make it exciting.
they were mentioning him as a possible unification opponent for Sunny last night. Yeah, on the
All right.
zone. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. Yeah, I did hear mention of that as well from Tony Bellew. He was talking about it as well. And I think that would
yeah,
be probably a fun fight. So I like Julio Cesar Martinez as being sort of one of those action come forward type fighters, and he's not afraid to bang, So it'll be interesting for sure. So I'd like to see him in there with any of them
yeah,
actually.
yeah. I was just thinking about that history. I mean, I know this was a light flyweight mainly, but those guys like Michael Carbajal and
Oh yeah,
Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez. I mean, I don't think there will be ever such punches again in those divisions in light flyweight, especially.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, those guys could really bang, especially Carbajal. I think
yeah.
he
There's a
was.
Puerto Rican coming up, Oscar Colazo, who I really like.
Oh
I think
yeah.
he's at minimum weight actually, and he's looked
Oh.
good so far. 7 fights in, a world champion basically, and he does it the right way. Very technical. He has some pop in his punches, and he can adjust and break down fighters. And I think he's one of those guys that, if he continues on this trajectory, is going to go down as one of the best Puerto Rican
Yeah.
smaller
He
weight
will
fighters
be.
for sure that we've seen in a very long time. So we'll see how he continues to hold up. But so far, so good for him, without a doubt. Now,
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Mr. Pat says, also, Josh, did you see that TL said he's retiring on top? LOL. Yeah, sure he is. Definitely doubt it. Everything seems kind of strategical with him, or perhaps Abrupt at the very least. Hope he fights Haney or Regis. Yes, indeed. Always, never a dull moment with Teofimo Lopez, him and his father, for
Yeah.
sure. Never a dull moment. But that
So
being
yeah.
said, since we're on that, definitely that was a big fight of the weekend, a marquee fight, and it felt good to have a fight of this magnitude on regular
Mm,
TV. You know,
yeah.
we all have these streaming services now, and some of the streaming services are starting to charge you pay per view, even though you're already paying for the streaming services. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that being said, it was good to have this on regular TV, regular ESPN. So it was Josh Taylor who was putting his. He had a couple of titles, and the ring title was on the line itself. But
Yeah.
he was putting his titles on the line at 140 pounds. Of course, he was previously the undisputed champion at 140 pounds, but he had to vacate his titles at some point due to inactivity. I guess you know how the sanctioning bodies are. But he came in with the ring and WBO title. Those sanctioning bodies are crazy. But that being said, he was taking on Teofimo Lopez, former 135-pound world champion, and this was a highly anticipated fight. You know, I
Yeah.
guess in hindsight, you could say it was kind of 50-50. Now, I came into the contest thinking that Josh Taylor would be a bit too much for Teofimo Lopez. I thought that Josh Taylor was more battle tested, had the better resume, of course, and has accomplished more in the sport. Just thinking about it from who he's fought and what he's been able to do thus far. And of course, I like Teofimo Lopez as well, knowing he's one of those explosive, very athletic and technical in some sense type fighters. And he had a rough patch over the last 2 years, I would say, or something like that. Well, pre or post that win over Vasily Lomachenko, a lot of erratic decisions and things that kind of slowed his career down in some sense. But I feel on this particular night, man, he showed up in a major way and gave us that Teofimo that we were accustomed to seeing. And it's going to
Mm,
be interesting us having this discussion here, Boz, because I saw
yeah.
this morning that you had it in favor of Josh Taylor, and while me, I, on the other hand, I had it in favor of Teofimo Lopez 117, 111, and I thought it
Oh
was
no no no
not
no
a close fight, really.
no.
Actually, I didn't think it was close. I thought Teofimo was fairly dominant, and I thought Josh Taylor, I don't know what the heck is going on with him, but he no longer looks like that guy that I thought we were going to see on this night. He looked
No.
like a lost soul in there, if you ask me, just like a guy who I don't know if he's fallen off a cliff or what, but he's got to do something. What are your thoughts?
No, it
No doubt.
shouldn't be at 140 anymore. Simple as that. I don't know what has kept him there, despite the stripping and all that. But yeah, no, it seems like I'm the only one who thinks that Taylor did enough to win that fight. But I mean, I would have been okay with a draw, that definitely. But 117, 111, that also two judges had. No way, man. I didn't see it that way for Lopez. I mean, I won for one. Actually, think that Taylor won 115, 113 or something like that, probably. But
Mm.
yeah, as I said, first couple of rounds, yeah, kind of close. The third round also, I also thought that Taylor won 4 or 5, then Teofimo sixth, and then again Taylor won the seventh and eighth, and then Teofimo won the ninth, Taylor the 10th, and then Teofimo took the last two. So that's how I saw it. But as I said, a draw maybe could have been, all right. I mean, I wouldn't argue with a draw, but or even if somebody had it maybe for Teofimo by 2 rounds, all right. That's but anything more than that, I really don't agree with because I thought that Lopez didn't do enough, in many of those rounds. He did score some good punches, but that was like at the end of the round or beginning or something like that, and then he would just get outworked for the rest of of the round. So Taylor didn't really, I mean, hurt Lopez, I guess. Well, but still, if you look at Lopez's face, I watched this footage not so long ago, a few
Yeah.
hours ago. in the dressing room, I mean, his face was pretty marked up if you look
Oh
at it.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, so
He took some
because
shots.
I would give it to Taylor on activity, but yeah, I'm sure I agree that Lopez did hurt Taylor more than he hurt him, and in the last 2 rounds he was really dominant, and that's all true. But still,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know really. This is weird. It seems like everybody except me
Might
thinks
have to
that.
check it out again. You might have to check that
Yeah,
one out again to see, because I thought Taylor looked good the first 3 rounds, and I was thinking, oh yeah, his size isn't going to be a problem for Lopez.
yeah,
Excuse me, but turned out to
but
not be the case, because thereafter I felt like, yeah, while there were points where there wasn't sustained action when shots were coming, I think the cleaner, most effective ones were coming from Lopez, and then he started to land some of the kind of unorthodox stuff, like lunging and leaping
yeah,
in with the left hook, as well as throwing some of those uppercuts from the outside in a way that was landing on Taylor, who, while he remained game at points, it just looked like to me he didn't really ever figure out Teofimo Lopez, or he couldn't leave that gear that he was in. I thought he was good with the tactics in the beginning as far as roughing up Lopez. The referee had to warn him for different things, and we know that tends to be the case with Josh
yeah,
Taylor. But it's then it was like the fuse went out on him, and over that tail end of the contest, I only gave him 1 round, and I thought that was a close round. So I had it 117, 111 as mentioned, and yeah, I just felt like it was Teofimo Lopez clearly, and for Josh Taylor, I know this was a bounce back fight from him coming off of that layoff after fighting Catterall, and then he had an injury of
yeah.
some
It
type.
was.
But I just
It
did
was.
not see the Josh Taylor that I had become accustomed to seeing, and the guy who I thought was top
No,
10 pound for pound level boxer, and who was once on there for some pundits as far as being one of those top 10 guys. But I didn't see that last night. I saw a guy who is still reeling from the Jack Catterall fight, in need of finding his place.
maybe. What he did wrong. I mean, yeah, that body work he's famous for. The body shots were nowhere to be
Yeah.
seen last night, and he made a mistake. He should have let Teofimo come to him more and then
Oh, yeah.
counter like he did against Ramirez. So he didn't have the right kind of game plan to really kind of dominate that fight. That's what I agree with. Yeah, I mean, and it was a close fight, but I don't see how people can say that. Like, oh no, I've seen plenty of comments saying, "Oh, Teofimo totally outclassed Taylor," because that's I think all they see is the punches. Who landed the hardest punches, right, in each round?
Yeah.
And yeah, Teofimo does take that award. In many rounds he landed the hardest punch probably. In those rounds that he did land, he didn't really land much in all rounds, definitely. So that's why I cannot see why you gave him 9 rounds. It's kind of hard to see for me, but anyway, I guess it's down to everybody's
Yeah, I think it's
perspective.
worth checking out again. I thought Taylor, when he was throwing, he wasn't very accurate on this night as well. So he had some accuracy in moments, but yeah, he wasn't landing anything that I thought would give him the edge over
That's the
Teofimo
problem,
Lopez in
yeah,
a lot of those rounds. But clearly, by
because
Teofimo Lopez's face, he was landing some stuff.
he didn't. Yeah, I don't know where his power was. He didn't seem to land really big, hard
No,
shots, and that's the problem. People didn't see him hurt or move or stagger Teofimo, so they thought no, those shots probably missed, but it doesn't necessarily mean they missed. It's just that they didn't have enough steam to them, enough power for some reason, and that reason might be because he's struggling to make that weight now, probably.
yeah. Yeah,
So
certainly. There have been talks of him moving up. Seems like 2 years ago at this point,
yeah,
and he's still at 140. I didn't think he looked too great last night, so maybe it is time to move to 147, because he
yeah,
was he was bigger than Teofimo Lopez. He looked big in there for
oh
sure,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he wasn't able to use that size
He
throughout
tried.
the
That's
fight.
why
Yeah,
he
he did
fought
try.
really dirty. He
Yeah, I agree.
tried
He
to.
did try to use it, but he definitely just. I feel like he couldn't pull out that extra edge and that grit that we usually see from Taylor. And
Yeah,
maybe, yeah, maybe it is time for him to move up to 147. Maybe that'll kind of reinvigorate him, and then the weight cut won't be
maybe.
as bad. And of course, there's a lot of competition at 147,
Hopefully.
so he'd have
Yeah.
some people that he could make some good contests with.
Yeah.
And
Jaron Ennis, for instance, or
oh
somebody
yeah,
like that.
you got
Yeah.
Boots up there who's going to be taking on Ruben Villa here
Or the
in July. I
yeah,
believe.
or the winner of Ortiz and Stanionis also.
Yeah, yeah, those one. But you know, him going to 147, jumping in the mix with one of those guys, I don't know if that's going to serve him too well. To be honest with you,
I
we
don't know. Yeah, he's already what 32, 33. Also, I don't know. Well, it's not that
yeah,
he's very old, but still, he's been in a few hard fights already.
yeah, maybe he
Yeah,
could
and
do it. I just think, yeah, those are some tough contests for your first fight at 147.
yeah,
It might have been cool coming off
probably,
of that undisputed run, when he was initially going to be going up to potentially fight Terrence
yeah,
Crawford, but coming off of this loss and coming off of the Catterall fight, I think, and then the layoff in the mix of it, I think him jumping to 147, he's probably going to need to take on someone a little less, I guess you can say, threatening as the winner of Stanionis and Ortiz, as well as Duran Ennis.
yeah. And
Uh,
Ortiz is just as tall as Taylor, as big, I guess. So
so
he will
yeah, and
not have that advantage.
if he lands some of those shots that Teofimo Lopez was landing, I think it'll be a different story.
Yeah, and probably lights out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know really. Well, what was I gonna say? Taylor has already, I think has already achieved, everything he could at 140. So why did he stay there? And that
Yeah.
Carroll fight was a real shocker for me. I never expected him to get dominated like he did. And
Supposedly he was there to he stayed there to try and get that rematch with or that rematch with Catterall, and of course that Catterall got hurt or something of that nature, and a lot of time transpired in between. But yeah, it probably would have been ideal to move up from that point. So now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, continuing at 140 or going to 147 and trying to get a
mm,
title there. I think it's a rock and a hard place because 140 is going to
mm,
be tougher now. Is
yeah,
it was a tough run for him to become the undisputed champion. I think it's going to be even tougher this time around with the likes of guys like Teofimo Lopez in there, potentially Devin Haney coming up there notes at some point very soon. Then you still have Regis Prograis out there, etc. I mean, Ryan Garcia 140 now, so Taylor,
yeah,
yeah, he's better served going to 147. He could take on the winner of I saw Mean Machine Egidijus Kagliaskis. He's taking on someone I can't remember who it is, but I believe it's at 147. And I think that's one of the fights that would be a good one for him
yeah.
as far as moving forward.
Yeah, it may also need a new trainer. I don't know, Josh Taylor, but I fear that we have already seen the best of him. But you never know. He can also make a strong comeback at 147.
Yeah,
But even so, even if so, he has already achieved all he, pretty much all that he could have hoped to at 140. Becoming the undisputed champion. It's not,
yeah,
peanuts. Like it's not a small thing. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's a big feat. Yeah, he's good. I like Josh Taylor.
yeah. I
Like I
mean,
said, I thought he would win coming in, and I saw a lot of people, a lot of pundits, many were thinking that Josh Taylor was gonna be a bit too much and a bit too poised and gritty for Teofimo
yeah.
Lopez, but it turned out to
you
be the
know what?
opposite.
You know what? Somebody wrote, I think it was on YouTube or Facebook, doesn't matter. the Teofimo is really not that popular in New York. He said that we in New York didn't want him to win this fight. Actually, so, I don't know if that's really true, but I guess there are people who don't like him there, obviously, because his mouth and his ego.
Yeah,
He
they were
talks a
rooting
lot.
for him there at the tail end. It seemed like the fans were showing some love when he was doing his
Yeah,
thing there against
I
Taylor.
guess it seems he said something to Taylor before the fight that he wants to like put him away, something like that, like
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
kill him.
yeah. He
Well,
said something about killing him. Yeah, he was talking crazy for sure.
yeah, and then later he apologized, and yeah, he
Yeah,
said,
he did it post fight interviews. Well,
"That's how it always goes." So
yeah, right.
typical.
But yeah, T.O. he likes to put on the show.
Yeah,
We talked to him. I don't think he's. I think he puts on a show.
yeah, of
He's
course. You gotta get yourself in a
yeah.
mindset. You
Sell the
know
fight.
how they say. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
a mind for war and a mouth for war. As Pantera had a song, this band, heavy metal, had a song called "Mouth for War," which
Oh,
was
okay.
inspired by James Stoney, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Cool. That's good stuff. But yeah, I like to see that little Mr. Pads I mentioned it, Haney or Regis. Yeah, I like to see Teofimo Lopez versus Regis Prograis, who's going to be fighting on June 17th. As a matter of fact, so this is going to be his Matchroom
Yeah,
boxing debut,
next
and
week.
that will be a good one.
Yeah, but he's fighting somebody, Zoria, someone
Yeah,
unknown.
it's
No idea.
yeah, not a big name for sure.
Wasn't he supposed to fight someone bigger than that? I mean,
I don't think
bigger.
so. I don't. I think when they
Maybe not.
announced it, they may not have had an opponent, but I don't think it was a big name fighter he was going to be taking on. He's called
Right.
out some, but yeah.
Well, anyway, someone that I know better than this guy probably it was. Yeah. Zoria. I never heard of him. Where is he from? Cuba or Dominican Republic, probably, or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, well, at least I hope it will be something good to watch anyway, that fight.
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, we'll see what happens right there because yeah, 147 is pretty lit right now and will continue to
Yeah,
be so. Now, Mr. Pat says, "Oh, and how could I forget? What did you make of Broner versus Hutchinson? Broner actually kind of surprised me, lol, and brought back a bit of that old AD in the post-fight interview, lol. Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, I saw it, and I thought, of course, this is a comeback fight for Broner, so I didn't have any crazy expectations for him. I thought that he was going to come out and kind of test the waters, and he did. He went after Hutchinson there at times in the tail end of the fight. I know he had him hurt at one point, and I saw that Broner tried to muster up a little something to try and get him out of there. He just couldn't. Now Hutchinson, of course, is no world beater. I didn't even know of him prior to this. But that being said, this is like a comeback tune-up fight, and of course, Broner needed that given how he's been over the last couple of years or whatever. So I'm not mad at him for going about taking on an opponent to really kind of just test the waters with him being back at 140 pounds or whatever it may be. And I think it makes for some very interesting mix-ups moving forward. He called out Rolly Romero. So that will be an interesting fight, a fun fight, and that build up and back and forth between the two of them, I'm sure, would be very, very entertaining. And of course, Romero has the title, even though many thought that the way he went about getting that title was very controversial, myself included, of course. But that being said, that's probably one that I think of any chance at getting a title at 140, that might be his best because I don't see him winning a title at 140, at least at this particular stage, given who he's going to have to go through otherwise in order to pick up a belt. But I think that he can certainly be a name to make for a big fight, some entertaining fight moving forward. Uh, I don't know. I take it you may not have seen this one by
no, no, I
Broner
didn't
making his
see it.
return.
Nor
Oh,
did I
Don
want
King
to see
promotion.
it. Honestly, if I could,
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Don
yeah,
King Promotions was in the house.
not really my favorite promotion
So,
company or the fighter that's headlined it. Yeah, I mean, Romer is simply no longer taken as seriously as a force. I mean, in boxing, and that has its reasons, of course. Yeah, so I don't generally don't watch his fights anymore. I mean, unless he should fight somebody rather, of note. But I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. Anyway, we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, same here. We'll see where he goes from here, but
Yeah,
certainly AB is back in the mix, and he seemed to be, you know, in good spirits at the end of the fight, as mentioned. So we'll see what he does here as he
a
continues on.
mhm,
Adrian the Problem Broner. Let me
problem
see.
child.
Yeah, Skywalker Boxing says Tio did his thing, trip out. Yeah, he did. He did, without a
Trip
doubt.
out. Where does it says?
Oh, well, it passed by. Yeah.
Gonna
Skywalker
find.
Boxing says 86 Boxing. Appreciate you, brother. I enjoy your content too. I got Boots Coach coming on tonight. My Sunday night show is usually an interview night. Awesome, good stuff. Everyone check that out. We're gonna have Boots in his coach coming on. Skywalker is. That's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna drop by there for sure to check that out, my man. So hit up Skywalker Boxing, y'all. Skywalker Boxing. That's good stuff without a doubt.
Oh yeah, you are up there, right? All
Oh
right.
yeah, yeah. We went down. Mr. Pat says Xander Zayas did his thing too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought
right.
Xander looked okay. He had an opponent who was not reckless. Cruz was, he was fairly tempered with the way he went about things. So, given what was in front of him, I thought that Xander he showed some great moments. He was going for the stoppage as well. He couldn't get it, but that being said, certainly something to build upon. That was an 8-round fight for him. I don't know if that was his first 8-rounder or not, but I've seen a number of his fights. But you can just tell that he's starting to fill out a bit more and mature a bit more. And I think, yeah, he can definitely do some things. We'll see how close he gets to world title contention. I don't know right now if he's there, but
Xander.
certainly maybe a year or so down the road he could be there. Maybe like 2 years or a year and a half from down the road. Just gradually stepping up the competition. But I think he has his head on right. As for lack of better words, or that term that they say, he seems to be dedicated and really geared towards it and into trying to make a name in the sport or repping
Mm.
Puerto Rico. So I thought Xander looked pretty good, and he looked like the fighter who came there to win yesterday, and that's the type of performance he put up. I'm not sure if you caught that, boss, but this is Xander Zayas. I think he started when he
No,
was like 17. I believe he's
I
20
just
now.
right. I just saw this article about him. I mean, yeah, I kind of came upon it. I didn't really read much about it. Or
Yeah,
well, yeah, he's. I see he's only 20 years old,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
16 and old already. So yeah, he started early,
Yeah, so
obviously.
he's still at that kind of prospect stage, but that being said, he's gradually being moved up, and yeah, I like him. I think that he'll definitely be a name. I believe he's at 154 pounds, and
Hmm.
well, depending on how things turn out, yeah, I could see him being there in title contention. Like I said, in not very long from
Yeah,
now, and I think that
contention.
opportunity will be there once Jermell Charlo, or once things are sorted out with him, because I think that he probably ultimately will move up at some point as well. So interesting
Yeah,
opportunity should come about.
154 is a pretty good division. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah. Welcome name there as far as the
mm,
elites. Martin says, what was all that with Robson Consicow? Uh, Yeah, that was a fight where I caught this vibes. I don't know if you caught it, but he was making his return, and it was like the headline of the prelims right before they went to the main ESPN card, and he was taking on someone. Let me see who's this guy he was taking on. But he's taking on some guy, and there was a hit, but I believe this was like the third or fourth round. There was a hit, but Robinson was throwing a punch, and he's kind of come. His head was down, and he was coming back up, and his head hit the guy in the chin, chin jaw area. The guy went down, and then he was like, I
Hmm.
guess saying he was dazed and out of there. The doctors came and checked him out and all that stuff. And the referee heard him saying that he couldn't see and things of that nature. But then he said that he was good to go, like, hey, I want to go, I want to fight or something like that. But because
Hmm.
he had stated that he couldn't see or something of that nature, the fight was stopped. And so it hadn't gone 4 rounds, so it's going to end up being a no contest, even though,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
it kind of
says
sucks.
here second round, no contest or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the second round. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty quick
Yeah.
then. So it didn't last that long, but they
Falcao.
had
Oh no,
really
sorry.
not even heated up.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. Conceição has only lost to Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, so he's pretty good
And some
fighter.
felt
Yeah.
he was the Valdez contest.
Wow.
Some at least.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been a few good Brazilian fighters lately. Because for a long time there weren't any, pretty much, except for when you had Celino Freitas, and that was a long time ago.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. So this is Dominican cat, Nicholas Polanco. So yeah, Polanco is coming off 3 straight losses. One of them is to Albert Bell, who is I like Albert Bell, very good boxer, very good technical boxer. That being
Polanco.
said, yeah, I mean, yeah, he got a headbutt, took a headbutt to the jaw, and that ended the fight. So I don't know that we'll see a rematch. They didn't get a chance to heat up, so we'll see though. But maybe Kunsakow takes on someone else, but we'll see. Wasn't much done to really show what the fight overall would have been looking like, but it did seem that Cal was going to be going to be leading at least for the fight.
Conceição, I believe.
We didn't get,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, Cal. That Delakian versus Jimenez fight was very nice, but the outcome was quite controversial because I saw many people saying Jimenez got robbed.
Hmm.
Interesting. I need to see which work that was on or which
Well,
network it was on.
there are always people saying somebody got robbed. I mean, if the fight is very close, that's always you get people claiming
Mm.
somebody got robbed. But yeah, maybe, but also may not be so.
Yeah, Delaki and Jimenez. Yeah, I remember seeing that fight, and I'm trying to remember if I thought that the other guy should have won, and I do remember it being close. You had some moments where there was some decent action and all that stuff, but I do remember it not being. Yeah, I do remember it being somewhat close. Jimenez was game for sure.
Hmm.
Now that you mentioned that, Mr. Pads, I need to see that again. But I do remember watching that contest without a doubt. I just don't remember how close and when some considered it a robbery. I'm assuming that it was closer than what I probably initially think. But I do remember checking that out. So it'll be interesting. So Galakian, yeah, he has one of those titles. So he's a man that I'm sure is going to be in hot pursuit here moving forward. But we'll see if a rematch comes about. Mr. Pad says, "What do you think about Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Gio Cabrera being the co-main event of the Spence Crawford card?" I know a lot of people are happy about that one. I think it's a good fight for sure, and it should provide some excitement. And people have been wanting to see Cruz versus a number of individuals, and I think that this will be his chance to showcase himself. And then we'll see if he gets back in there with one of these other top level guys who have been calling him out, or he's been calling them out. But I think it's a good fight for Spence Crawford. As I mentioned, Mean Machine versus someone. I'm going to need to find out, but I know that's going to be on there as well, which I think is the matchup will be an exciting fight. I'm just trying to remember who it is that he's taking on. But that being said, a lot of people are all for Isaac Cruz and want to see him back in there with Devontae Davis. And whether or not that happens, of course, we will find out. But Cruz has been on he's been on a roll since his loss to Devontae Davis, in which was I guess you could say, close loss.
Close, yeah.
So he
The
beat Gamboa
closest one.
and Rodriguez.
The
Yeah.
closest one Geronte has had until now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be very interesting. And Gio Cabrera, I am familiar with him. I'm trying to look at who I saw him last with boxing wise. Giovanni Cabrera. So yeah, Gio comes in 21-0. He's got 7 knockouts in those 21 fights. Oh yeah, he beat Gabe Flores, pretty much outclassed him in some sense. Flores is trying to get back up on the run. So yeah, this should be a good fight. And Pitbull, he's going to come forward. I imagine he's going to probably try to be the aggressor, and we'll see how Cabrera handles it. But it's a good fight, I think, at least on paper, just stylistically, what each bring to the table. We'll see how busy Cruz is going to be. If he's going to be busy, I think that'll make for an even greater fight. But definitely, we'll see how that undercard continues to fill out, without a doubt. Salute to Andre Rodriguez, who says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Appreciate you dropping by, Andre. As always, love having you in here in the mix. Hopefully, all is going well there on your end. Thank you. Thank you for dropping by." Andre Rodriguez says that Teofimo actually said he retired. Read that online, but I don't buy it. Yeah, I think he's just throwing stuff out there. I think if the right offer comes, he'll be back in the ring next week. I think it's just all talk. He says he's retiring on top. He's not on top of the division, but he's up there for sure. So
even if he was, 25 or however old he is, yeah. I mean, he knows he can make many more fights. I mean, several big fights. So why retire now?
Yeah, he's gonna be a hot name. He's already a hot name that when mentioned, but now even more so now that he's defeated Josh Taylor. So he's next up in line for those to come forward looking to get that ring title.
Yeah, the irony is now I'm thinking about he lost to George Kambosos, but he beat officially Lomachenko and Taylor. Come on, it's how does that sound? Crazy, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, those two are way better than Kambosos, especially Lomachenko, of course. So.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So Mr. Paz mentions Andre. He put it on his own Instagram in a lengthy post, but as we all know, it seems like it's hard to take him very seriously at times. Yeah. Probably that's an emotional thing he did right there in the immediate aftermath. I don't make anything of it as far as him being officially retired. I think there's going to be too many calls coming in for potential matchups moving forward, and I think that this is just a way for him to keep his name out there and throw some stuff out there. But if he did, that would be one of the rarities where a fighter pretty much in their prime retires and doesn't come back at some point to fight. That would be a rarity.
There was some kind of. Did you see there was some kind of exchange between Teofimo's father and the father of Devin Haney? Was it? I believe where Teofimo's father was like came and screamed at the other guy or something.
I had heard mention of. I know I only saw Bill Haney when Showtime interviewed him there, saying that there was they had some history or whatever. But I didn't see that exchange. Very interesting, though. I know that they wanted to fight them, at least Teofimo Lopez. And of course, him and Devin have been linked, pretty much all those guys at 135. So when you have those types of personalities, those alpha personalities from the dads, you're going to get this type of stuff for sure.
Yeah. All these guys now have their dads as trainers, it seems like. Both those guys, and you have Rolly Romero. So I don't know about Gervonta. He doesn't have his father, I guess.
He's got Calvin Ford. Salute to Calvin Ford in his corner. Very good trainer representing Baltimore.
Obviously.
But we'll see if Haney Lopez. That's one that I think a lot of people will be down to see. It seems like if Haney ultimately goes to 140, then that's a fight to be made right there. And I don't see too much standing in the way of it. But, we'll see, though. We'll see. Under Rodriguez says, True Pass, maybe it's because of the court case over his kid or something. Yeah, I heard mention of that. Yeah, it can be crazy, I'd imagine. It can be. Yeah. So yeah, I realized, Teofimo, he got married there young, and unfortunate. It seems that it's come to an end. But anyway, Andrew Rodriguez said, "True, bad, especially because the kid always suffers the most." Yeah, I agree. I agree there. So it's a very interesting time for Teofimo Lopez. So maybe that's why the retirement talk has come about. But I'm sure we'll see him back in there. Uh, Andre Rodriguez wanted to know what he thought about the Don King event. Damn it, it was like some time machine transported everyone in there to 1989.
Yeah,
It was.
I
It was.
wish.
It's funny though. Don King, man, he's still holding it down. Don's like, I'm not switching up for anyone. But yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Andre Rodriguez talking about the fact that Broner was back in the mix, and this was expected given the opponent that he was facing. Though it wasn't like the a top level performance or anything of that nature. But he's coming back from a lot of out of the ring drama and just trying to stay focused, and it seems like he's making an effort towards doing such. So maybe we'll
Hmm.
see him throw his name in a hat out there for one of these top level fights. Of course, as we mentioned, getting to the title in itself, that's going to be a challenge right there. Outside of the Rolly Romero, if he gets that one, I think that's probably one that he would at least make it very interesting in, just given how Rolly looks at times. So we'll see. We'll see. Under Rodriguez says, I like what was possible to see from Robson Consecal. He showed improvement, but again, it ended so fast. Yeah, we were just talking about that. It did. Yeah, it looked like he was going to
Show
be
me.
leading in that fight. Yeah.
I'm looking at that letter with the C between. I think
Oh, yeah.
that might be a letter actually. Conseil Chow or something.
Consecal, think it's that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it could be. It could
let's
be.
call him Conseil Chow.
Yeah, Andre would know. Well, Brazilians, they speak Portuguese, so
Yeah, yeah. You can tell us how it's
yeah, Andre.
pronounced,
Yeah, I'm sure you know. Is it Conseil Chow or Conseil Cow?
or
I
Sao.
see that little accent over it, and then that at
I
the
don't
bottom of
think
the C.
it's.
So I'm sure that there's some particular way it's supposed to be said.
And also
Which
that
always
A
cracked
with
up.
the thing above. That's also I wonder how is that a regular A or
Yeah, you'll have to let us know, Andre Rodriguez. How do you say Robson Conseil Cow or Conseil Chow?
yeah, no, actually they pronounce R as H, I believe, in Portuguese. So it's like Hobson Conceição,
Robson
something like
Conseil Cow.
that.
Good to go. Yeah, but Hobson looked decent for the short period of time, but that guy took a butt in the chin area. But he said he couldn't see. I don't know where that came about, but you never
Took a
know. Maybe
butt.
he was concussed.
That sounded funny. You said
Maybe
took
he
a
was
butt.
concussed.
Someone might think it was
Oh yeah. I know what you said. Yeah, but that's where he got caught with the head. But so I guess his vision was gone. Well,
I
okay,
mean,
so Robson, he has a new team according to Andre. That's cool. He said not entirely, but still top ranked since some cats to his team to improve his style. Okay, yeah, cool. We know he's technically sound, but there's some moments where he'd take his foot off the gas, and I think that cost him in the Oscar Valdez
yeah.
fight for sure. Even though
So it
some still
is.
thought he won it, but
He said it's Conceição. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Conceição.
Yeah.
Okay, with your accent, good to go. So Under Rodriguez says it's Conceição.
Yeah, because I remember there was a football player, a Portuguese one, long ago in the 90s, and I know that these commentators pronounce his name Conceição. So they were
Okay,
right.
Conceição. Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Not Conceição, Conceição,
Not
Conceição.
consequence either. Mr.
Right.
Consequential.
Yeah, Conceição. So Conceição, we'll see. I think 130. I believe that's where he's at, like 130, right? So I think that's still kind of open for
Yeah,
some people to take some to make some noise there. I think he can get back to title contention. And his losses, especially the one to Valdez, wasn't a bad loss. It was a very close loss, and I think if he'd have turned it up a bit more, he probably could have had a better chance of winning that. Now Shakur Stevenson, that was a tough matchup, but he's going to be a tough matchup for pretty much anyone, when he's in there, just given his skill set and dynamics surrounding him. But that being said, yeah, South, I think he can get back to a title at 130 pounds without a doubt.
yeah,
Without a
yeah.
doubt. We're going to
So
get Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez anyway. I guess that's what's coming up next for them as far
big,
as
big,
that group,
big,
that top
big
ranked
fight.
group. So he can get himself next in line, and he should be able to get back in the ring fairly quickly, considering, yeah, this fight had just started and ended in a no contest. They probably won't go with that guy, and I'd be fine with that if they didn't went with that Polanco guy, given
Top
the
rank.
dynamics of this.
Top rank are still one of the few who keep making, I guess, the big fights, and yeah, kudos to Bob Arum for that. Of course, I've got
Mhm.
nothing but respect for that guy.
Yeah, and, Martin says Andre agreed, but it was a weird fight. Sitting down, standing up. Let's get it on. Let's not. It didn't seem too bad as headbutts go. Yeah, we've seen worse headbutts without a doubt. This one landed kind of on the chin jaw area. So I don't know what happened with his vision. The only thing I can say is he was concussed if his vision was out. He said he couldn't see or something like that. You never know. Hey,
Weird,
you
yeah.
never know. Anthony Davis plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's always hurt. So that's
Some
funny.
guys can't take that kind of life.
Yeah, yeah. So I think a lot of us are in agreement that the headbutt was interesting, and it was, yeah, definitely not the worst. Dude kind of let itself into it in some sense. Interesting
Mm,
stuff. Interesting stuff.
mm.
Now we're talking about some rabbits. If you see it, you'll see it.
Yeah.
That is funny. Evening Sun and Boz, blessed Sunday. Gluten, I'm assuming goat. Oh, guys, golden. But salute to my mom out there that
So,
dropped in, showing some love. Appreciate you dropping by. Appreciate you dropping by without a doubt. Keeping it in that number one fan territory. Keep that up. Let's go. Salute to Alan who's dropped in. Appreciate you dropping by, Alan. Always good to see you, buddy. He says Teofimo Lopez's dad is a character like John Fury, Haney Sr., Camboso Sr. They all love the limelight. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, he is. I was thinking about, like, yeah, Danny Garcia's dad at one point. Yeah, these
yeah,
guys that
he
are
was the first
out
one. I was thinking about him, yeah, Angel. He was one of those first cheeky boxing dads,
there.
kind of arrogant, yeah. But yeah, he was definitely he was. He liked to banter and
I
yeah,
saw in
top.
a little segment they were doing. They did a little cutscene type segment on Teofimo Lopez. I guess where Mark Krieger was interviewing him at some point, like last week or something, maybe. And Teofimo's dad jumped in there, interrupted the interview, yelling because Mark Krieger asked him a question. I think it was about that "Do I still got it" thing or whatever he said at the end of the last fight, and I guess he didn't like that. So yeah, he's a character.
He's such a character, a bad tempered guy, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting for sure. Alan says, glad Taylor lost because the way Jack Catterall was robbed of a massive upset in Scotland. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how many feel, and that's also maybe a part of why so many have Lopez winning so and clearly also in that fight. I don't know. Probably it has something to do with it. I thought it was closer than and anyway than a lot of people think, and yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, Boz. That's interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it again. But yeah, I didn't think it was too close. But you never know. I did have Loma beating Haney, but that being said, a lot of people had Haney
Yeah.
winning as well. I don't know.
Oh, that
Very
fight.
interesting.
Wait, did I watch that fight? I think I did, but I don't know if I scored. Oh yeah, that's right, I did. I scored for Loma like 114, 112 or something. I don't
Okay,
something.
yeah, I had it like 116, 111 for Loma, I believe.
Or yeah, something. I think it was by
Something of that nature.
2 points that I had
Maybe 117.
Loma winning. Maybe one. I don't know something. Yeah, like 15, 13 or four. Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, Taylor, man, I thought that he had moments, of course, but yeah, he just was.
Yeah, I mean, on activity based on that, he won that fight. All right, on activity, he was more active, definitely. I mean, except for the last 2 rounds where he seemed to tire and slow down. But you can argue in the punches landed, and all that stuff. Well, I don't know who wins there, but anyway,
Well, they
probably
had,
in the power punches department, probably Teofimo won that fight in that
yeah,
department.
they
Yeah,
had him
but
out. They had him seemingly the majority of the rounds, if not all of them. They had Teofimo Lopez outpointing Taylor as far as clinch count. Of course, we know it's not 100% accurate, but he was
yeah,
apparently landing more each round, and uh, and Taylor was throwing about 20 less than the division average, somewhere around there.
he was pressing the fight in most rounds. That's why I saw he didn't win them all, but of course, but I still gave him like well, I think he won like 7 rounds or something. In my eyes, 6 or 7, at least 6 rounds anyway. Yeah,
Yeah. So, Alan, yeah, we varied on this one, or we differed on this one now, Alan. I felt Teofimo won, and I thought he handled it pretty well. He was landing some sharp
usually we
shots.
agree, but yeah, this,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time not. And I was really like, because people, I saw an article before that who said that, Taylor did well in the first 2, 3 rounds, and then he was, like, that's what
yeah.
they said. And I was like, all right, let's see the fight, let's see why he didn't do that good. And then when I saw the fight, I was like, what the hell? What are they talking about? He won more than a couple of rounds for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, and Alan says I still haven't seen the fight yet. Yeah, it'll be interesting when Alan when you check it out. You'll
yeah,
see it. Taylor started out pretty well, in my opinion, and had some great moments. But that being said, after round three, I feel it was pretty much after round three. I felt that Teofimo Lopez started to take the momentum and lead. You know.
yeah, well, he did have some. I mean, in round three, I know that he landed a good, uh, well, it wasn't a combination. It was several punches, one after another, I guess. But as I said, then he would stop. He would, Taylor would attack and he would back off. So that's a lot of what he did in the first 7, 8 rounds, something like that. Yeah, so it was after. Yeah, definitely. I thought after the 8th round, it looked like Teofimo was really starting to push to force the fight, and because he knew he probably had to, also to secure the victory, and that shows that he also felt that by then he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure if he was really ahead or not. He was probably, thinking maybe, it's even or Josh is a little bit ahead. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
that's interesting. Interesting for sure. Alan says, from what I hear, Lopez won by some distance and Taylor ran out of steam at the end of the fight. Yeah, he definitely, I think he
yeah,
was feeling it for sure
at the
there at
end,
the
yeah,
end.
yeah, he
But,
lost the second two last rounds. He lost, definitely. Taylor lost.
and yeah, so, and with that, Alan, as we were mentioning earlier, maybe the time is now for Josh Taylor to move up to 147 pounds.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
of course, there's no easier sledding going up to 147, just given who is there in top contention.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah,
kind of put it. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
yeah. That's the thing. That's why I guess he also kept fighting at 140 even after he knew that his best days were probably over there. But Yeah, because he knows if he moves up, he's up against really stiff competition, and he wanted to wait, I guess, a little bit longer. And yeah, that's right. He scored that hat trick. I remember against Germany. Yeah,
No, yeah,
2000.
Sergio Conceição, winger of FC Porto, and now and Inter, coach now in
Yeah,
Porto, scored 3 against Germany in Euro
Inter.
2000. All right, good to go. Conceição, freaking Conceição. He
He
also played
was.
for Lazio and Parma. Okay, cool.
That was like when Portugal started playing really well again
Oh
at
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
time. Yeah, for a long time they were kind of weak. Before that, between in the 70s and 80s, they were really not that good. But then in the mid 90s, they started playing better. And yeah,
Good stuff.
then
Good stuff there.
Cristiano Ronaldo came and, a few others.
Cristiano,
Yeah, some others.
legendary Cristiano.
Yeah.
Andre Rodriguez says Taylor still had an interesting 10th round, but the 8th, ninth, 11th,
Yeah.
and 12th was TO all over.
I gave him the 10th. That was the last one I gave Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah. I only gave Taylor 3 rounds. I gave him the first, the third, and I believe it was the 10th. So those three. And I know that it could be considered close in like that third round. That could have gone to Teofimo Lopez. It was a close round for sure. And then
Oh,
depending on what you thought of the first, I guess you could argue that. But I thought Taylor landed a bit more in the first. And I thought
yeah.
Taylor looked good. He looked big. He looked strong in there in the first 3 rounds, like I said. But maybe at a conditioning
Yeah.
got to him, having been out for 15 plus months or something of that nature. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's so sweet. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it again because I want to see if maybe, as I said, some of those early rounds were kind of close but I thought that Taylor kind of just edged them also the first. Actually, first, I had him winning all the first 5 rounds, believe it or not, at first. But now then I went back and thought about it. Well, maybe the third one, I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, after that, six was the first one I gave to Teofimo for sure. That I know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, interesting one. We'll have to reconvene once we figure out where once you rewatch it again, and I need to
Yeah.
rewatch it myself and kind of see how it come out of there. So we will certainly get back to this discussion. I wanted to mention that there were also some other good fights that took place this past weekend as well. Ellie Scottney became a world champion, defeating Chernika Johnson of Australia. I still need to
Yeah, I
watch
didn't
that fight.
see that one. I didn't see that. And I
Yeah.
didn't really want to. I didn't have much interest to be honest in seeing it. But yeah, I heard
Yeah.
of that she won. Yeah, Ellie.
Yeah, it's one I wanted to see. I like Ellie. I thought she got a nice skill set to her, so I thought she would get the win, and she did. Sandoval, I can't remember his first name. I think he's a Golden Boy prospect, but he got a win. Mosley Jr. knocked out Demetrius Big Meech Ballard in
Oh
the second
yeah,
round.
yeah,
I need to
he's
see that.
fighting. Yeah, that's what's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Ballard, he's out of Maryland, I believe, this area. So
Yeah, I heard of him. He's fought some better fighters before. Yeah.
yeah, Munguia beat him. So he fought Munguia not
Oh
too long
yeah, yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Got stopped in that fight. Uh, so yeah, he's
Demetrius.
but yeah, he's an interesting fighter. So we'll see what he does from here. But Shane Mosley Jr. I like Shane Mosley Jr. I think he has a very good moments where he shows he's pretty skilled. Um, Not high motor at times, but we'll see what he does there. 168 he seems to be comfortable there.
Yeah.
Ismailov versus Foster. I watched that Showtime fight, as a matter of fact, and it was a pretty decent one, I guess, overall. Ismailov won. That was one that took place.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Suleski got a second round KO victory, so we'll see what happens with him. He
Wow.
picked this up on
He's
Friday.
he's been out quite long, I believe, before. Not sure when was
Yeah,
his last.
that fight with Jamel Charlo, or yeah, Jamel. He was supposed to fight Jamel or Jamal, one of the two, but they got hurt. I think it was actually Jamal Charlo. So yeah,
Yeah,
I guess this is
Jamal,
his
he
first fight
was.
since then,
Yeah,
but that was several months ago. I think that was like last year. So yeah, he's been out for a good little bit.
yeah, but he was. Oh, I see. He was fighting a rather weak fighter, Seletsky. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
1921 record. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, it's a good return because he didn't fight last year. So yeah,
oh yeah, yeah, oh
he's
yeah,
a
and
pretty skilled guy, but all in all, but I don't know how much he's got left. He's 34, hasn't fought a lot the
yeah, yeah,
past
right. So he'll
years.
probably be in there with one of the top guys, I'd imagine. Uh,
Yeah,
Maybe in one of his final big fights, but we'll see. I also saw that uh, also under Rodriguez says Figo Rui Costa future
yeah, Rui Costa.
Southeast
Yeah, I forgot about him. Figo, of
Carlos Souza.
course, great.
The '90s were strong.
And
When Ronaldo arrived, the structure was already there, in my opinion. That is, but hey,
and
boxing and
also
football always. Yes, sir.
also Nuno Gomes. He was a really good striker, a really good goal scorer. Nuno Gomes.
Yeah, yeah.
He
So under
played quite
Rodriguez,
long for Portugal also.
okay, good stuff. Hey, soccer is king over there in the UK,
Yeah,
or not in the
yeah,
UK,
it was.
Europe in general, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Andre Rodriguez said, "Do you guys think Munguia will finally go for a title fight next? It'll be interesting. I don't think he has a lot of avenues to him besides Canelo. Right? This is
Yeah.
168. Doesn't Canelo have them all?
He did. Yeah, he does actually right now. But he mentioned Benavides. That he wants to fight Benavides.
Oh
So
yeah. Speaking of that, I did see that Benavidez is going to be fighting David Morrell. I don't know if it's solidified
yeah,
100% confirmed or
wow,
whatever, but
that's a hell of a fight. Wow, man.
yeah, that is. Now, I wanted to see Canelo versus Benavidez before that, but
Canelo,
man,
yeah,
they couldn't
Benavides.
make it happen. So yeah, it's saying that
I thought that was already done that fight, but it wasn't. Obviously.
yeah, right. It said and now Dimitri Rivol, I'm looking at Michael Benson. He said that Dimitri Rivol says the Canelo rematch is not happening in September, and he's focused on Artur Beterbiev. So I don't know. I've heard that
Bivol,
Canelo is going to end up fighting Berlanga, the Puerto Rican cat who
Berlanga.
started out with a little knockout streak, Edgar
Yeah, that
Berlanga,
guy.
and I
Hmm.
think he's going to get destroyed by Canelo. Even Canelo that is on the down skid, as everyone or a lot of people are saying. But that being said, Berlanga, he's going to be fighting coming up, I believe, this month, maybe next week or something like that. And this is going to be his return after several months off, considering he looked bad in his fight against uh, what's the heck his dude's name? He fought is a veteran from Colombia or
Yeah,
Venezuela. I need to
it
look up
was
his name.
someone like that.
Yeah, but he didn't look too good, and he bit him on the shoulder in the contest because he was frustrated because he can't knock everybody out, and he
Yeah,
hasn't picked up a
yeah.
knockout in a while. Yeah, Angulo, yeah, Alexis
Angulo.
Angulo,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
he's a very solid fighter. Yeah, Alexis
tough
Angulo.
veteran. So Berlanga had it
Yeah,
tough with him, and yeah, he just hasn't looked to be that promising guy. So maybe we'll see a transformed version of him since he's been out for months. But he's taking on Jason Quigley. If you recall, Jason Quigley was stopped by Demetrius Andre
yeah, yeah, yeah.
last year, I believe it was,
Quigley.
in
Yeah,
Andre's last fight at 160. So that's who Berlanga's going to take on. So I've heard that could ultimately mean if Berlanga wins this fight with Quigley, which is June 24th, then in September we could potentially see Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga. And of course, it would garner some fanfare given it's Mexican Independence Day, and also it'll be Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Even though Berlanga, he's more New Rican. He's a New York guy, but Puerto Rican nonetheless representing. And
Fernando will knock him out. Canelo, I'm just kidding.
yeah, hey, that was shot in
One
the throat.
punch knockout, one round.
Well, hey, I think he should go for it. He should go all out.
Yeah,
Say
he should.
balls to
Yeah,
the walls, as they say. Hey, I'm gonna empty the kitchen sink on
that's
him, trying to get him out of there.
yeah, that's his only chance, just to get him out of there as quickly as possible. Because if he
Yeah,
waits, it's over.
we'll make a statement. Alan Porter won the championship, Champions League in Marino.
Mourinho, yeah, I think that
They
was 2003
scored.
or something. They won again. Oh no, oh, 4 against Monaco. I remember that. I watched that final. Yeah, yeah.
Alan says everyone wants a piece of Canelo, even my man CBS. Hey, bless you. Oh yeah,
Thanks.
Chris Billum Smith calling out
Oh
Canelo.
no,
He's a
no, no.
cruiserweight, of course.
Forget that. He's not fighting a cruiserweight.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what's
not
best.
gonna have that. Definitely not gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna go to cruiserweight now.
He's no cruiser 5'8". Used to be a light middleweight. Come on, we must draw the
Yeah,
line somewhere. All right, even 175 is a bit of a stretch. He can make it, but still, he said he's more comfortable at 168, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
very understandable, right?
yeah. And I
So
thought he should, chill out on the actual, chill out on the
yeah,
Bivol rematch. I know he wants it, but
you've seen the size of Chris Smith. He's practically a heavyweight who just loses enough weight so he can fight
oh
it.
yeah, yeah, he's a big dude. He's a big dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
some of those cruiserweights, if not all of them, I think all of them pretty much are walking over 200
yeah, and
pounds.
with his punch, he can punch also, obviously, and if he hits Canelo right, that can be ugly, and ugly. And I mean, it's not the same. Like Callum Smith, he was still at least like a super middleweight or light heavyweight, nothing more than that, despite being the same height as Bill Smith. He's got a little kind of different build, right? Not that heavy, like muscle and stuff. He does
Good to
have
go.
muscles, but it's not like like really like how do you call it, uh, build of a heavyweight. No, it's not.
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, it is one of those interesting things. Uh, salute to Fight Night Scores. Says evening, gents. Hope you're well and ready for some score. And speaking of
Hey
that,
Jim,
seems like a good ending point because here at 3 o'clock, about to go over there to score Timothy Bradley
yeah.
versus Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, you're gonna do it now? Wow,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
So everyone, if you can, come jump over to Fight Night Scores. As a matter of fact, if you can drop the link in there, Fight Night Scores, we'll definitely be in the mix. Or if look up at Fight Night Scores here on YouTube. We're actually going to go back and score Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley, the first fight, which was a controversial fight.
It's a Bradley hate fest, obviously.
Well, we'll see. We will see
Everyone
what
knows
happens.
he did win that fight, obviously.
We will see what happens. I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll see what happens. The verdict can change when you watch
I
it a
know
second
now
time.
that I know that Alex probably hates Bradley. That's why he probably wanted that fight.
That's funny. And then Andre said, "Do you consider Sonny Edwards' movement always effective or just evasive without counters and no attention for such at all times?" Probably the latter, just trying to stay out of the way or whatever, just to not get hit. But hey, you need someone in there to drag it out of them, without a doubt, there, Andre. But certainly, we appreciate everyone dropping in. Boz, I hope you're going to join us to score. Why not?
Yeah, I
Come
will
join us.
probably. I don't know if I
We
will.
need your commentary,
Yeah,
and
uh,
maybe we'll score it the same this time around. You never know.
yeah,
But check out that YouTube
probably,
link below
probably.
right there, folks. It's in the chat. We want you to come drop in without a doubt to check us out.
Yep, I'll do that.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Andre. Appreciate it, Alan. Appreciate it, Andre. But Andre likes Sunny. That's good stuff. But yeah,
He's
yeah,
very
we'll be
good.
back in the mix though next week. We're gonna have some more action to talk about. We didn't get to everything, but come join us on Fight Night Scores. The link is there in the chat. We want to see you all, and we're gonna have some fun scoring, baby. Have a
Yeah,
good one.
have a good one, everybody.